person since... She tapped her lip, thinking. Well, probably not since I came back, but I'm not really new, just one of the locals who couldn't stay away. Why'd you come back? Joy couldn't help but ask. She'd grown up in Springfield, Illinois, but had been in Chicago for the last few years, but had never really felt particularly drawn to one place over the other. Oh, well, I just graduated, a degree in studio art, and unfortunately for us artists, it's hard to make a living on painting and drawing. The brightness in Grace's smile turned brittle for a moment, like she hadn't wanted to return at all, and Joy felt a little guilty for pressing. I understand that all too well. I'm a writer. People are always trying to pay me in pats on the back. A writer? I don't know if we have any around here. Not beyond Mrs. Jenkins, who's always talking about writing that romance novel about Vikings. But she's been talking about that for 20 years now. Seeing the front door open, Grace added, I have to get to these guys, but Terry will take care of you. Welcome to town, Joy. Joy ended up ordering the pancakes, and she couldn't help but agree with Grace. They were damn good. The coffee was strong and hot, and Joy slumped in the well-worn leather of the booth and simply enjoyed the food and drink. She hadn't really sat down in what felt like weeks. Not with packing up her apartment in Chicago, driving 500 miles south to Heron's Landing, trying to help her directionally challenged movers get on the right highway, and then sleeping on the floor last night. It was a wonder she was still standing. Having finished her pancakes, Joy wondered if she should go back to her apartment above Mike's general store. Yes, a real general store, and Joy had fallen in love with it the moment she'd stepped inside it. But there was nothing there. She couldn't unpack, she couldn't set up her new bookshelves, she couldn't even cook something. She tapped her nails on the plastic tabletop, thinking. Maybe she could go for a walk. Explore the town? But at the thought, her body groaned. What she really wanted was to go take a nap, but that wasn't really a great idea given her bed situation. Beds inevitably made her think of her old apartment overlooking Lake Michigan. Her bed was a brand new king-sized pillow top with an expensive duvet and matching pillows. It had been a rather large splurge on her part. It wasn't as if she made a ton of money as a freelance journalist, but she'd always dreamed of a bed just like it. Even the bright white of the duvet hadn't put her off. Sure, it would be close to impossible to keep clean in the grand scheme of things, but what did she care? It was hers, and it was gorgeous. Jeremy had made fun of her for it. So I guess this means we aren't sleeping in the bed, he'd said the moment he'd first seen it. Joy had shown him how wrong he'd actually been soon thereafter. Joy bit her lip, covering how her body shivered when she thought of Jeremy. She'd left Chicago and her apartment and Lake Michigan and the trains and the bustle mostly because of him. She didn't want to admit that to herself, but it was true. The second she'd found out he'd been cheating on her with her supposed best friend, Regina, her world had fallen apart. She and Jeremy had been together for 5 years, and he repaid her by sleeping with the woman she'd loved as much as she'd loved Jeremy. The double betrayal had done a number on her, and because Joy preferred things to be clean and final, she'd cut off the both of them without looking back. She wished cutting them out of her life had concluded everything, but the wound still gaped and bled, no matter how hard Joy tried to ignore it. Shaking her head, she set some money on the table and got up, deciding that sitting and thinking about Jeremy wasn't going to improve her mood. She'd left Chicago for that very reason, and she refused to let his betrayal ruin this fresh start. As she made her way to the door, a man stepped in. He was tall, at least a head taller than Joy, with dark hair and dark eyes. But what brought her to attention the most was how rugged he was, with muscled forearms and a firm jaw sprinkled with stubble. He was also rather dirty, with leaves in his hair, and Joy found herself intrigued despite herself. "When's the last time you took a bath? Did you roll in the mud this morning?" Grace demanded, her hands on her hips. She then looked at Joy, her expression changing to one of